You see, things have been pretty busy here at the plant. They've got a lot of boats on the line to go out. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, maybe one of you guys that are watching this video, this could be your boat. Are you building a white and red Falcon right now? This looks like a F-20 Predator. They've got, that's a 185. That looks like a 205. They've got a lot of boats on the floor. Actually, that's not a 205, that's a 185, 18-foot boat. There's a lot of boats. One of these boats is probably yours, I bet. Wouldn't that be cool to kind of see your boat in the video? Let me know. If one of these boats is yours, comment. Let me know it's yours. I'm about to build another boat. This boat's gonna be a little bit more special than the boats that I've had in the past. My dad had a boat that I really loved when I was a kid. It wasn't a Falcon. Falcon wasn't around at that time, but in the 80s, my dad had a boat called a Shadow. Now, Shadow isn't made anymore. It went out in the recession of 1990, they went out of business. But he had a tunnel hull Shadow. It was a high performance boat. It was fast. It was a really, really cool boat. It was one of the first boats that I personally remember fishing out of. So I thought it'd be cool if for this year that I pretty much build my boat the same color as that boat was. Now, it wasn't the very first boat that I fished out of, but it was the very first boat that I personally remember having days of fishing with my pops, and I remember fishing tournaments out of. So this year we're gonna build my Falcon the exact same color as my dad's 20-foot Shadow. Hey, today is spray day for my boat. It's kind of fascinating how simple it is, yet it's really complicated. It's pretty simple in the fact that it's literally like, your boat is literally like 4 pieces. That whole thing, you drive down the lake, it's 70 miles an hour, is literally just like 4 pieces of fiberglass sandwiched together. But if you watched any of my YouTube vlogs before, you've probably seen this boat build process, but I just want to do it again. If you haven't seen it before, welcome to Falcon. We're gonna build a bass boat today. Look, this is all the resins that they use to spray the boats with. Like literally, if you order a boat from Falcon, your color is somewhere on this shelf right here. See the lime green, the steel blue, the blaze, the silver fire, foxfire, silver mist. Literally all the colors they got on the shelf right here. So somebody's boat is on this shelf. So all the metal flakes in that backpack right there, right? Yeah. Hey, so the very first thing that they do is they spray the hull first. That's what you see it going down right here behind me. Okay, so here's the weird thing about it. So he just sprayed my hull and my cap, and this is it finished right here behind me. And you're like, well, it's just all black. Well, you can't see the pretty just yet. All the pretty is on the inside of the black. This is the boat that we're trying to rebuild here. I have a few more pictures that are not quite as good as this one. But you can see this was a day of fishing with Dad where it went pretty daggum well. I don't necessarily remember this day, but that is the boat there. And that's some of the colors that I'm going to put in it. It's nothing really that special, but the silver, the blacks, the red, it's nothing like that you haven't seen before. But it's just one of those boats. Like that boat meant a lot to me because those were some of my earliest memories. There's some other pictures my mom had before I could actually remember fishing, but I remember some of these days. I remember that boat. Here it is right here. If I had to guess right there in that picture, I'm probably 4, 5. Yeah, should be right. Maybe 5 years old. The boat was at 85. I was born in 82. So it was probably, you know, it could have been in 86, 87, 88, somewhere along in there. And there's me with my Snoopy rod. And you can see the color of the boat too. That's what we're about to try to make. Black hull, silver boat, red pinstripes, and then a black inside on the boat as well. So for the most part, every boat that I built, same color. It's been some type of black frost and a red pinstripe or something like that. All right, well, this boat it's still gonna have some black frost in it, but the bulk of it was silver. So let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so here we go. If you ever ordered a boat at a dealer, you probably saw these color swatches, or it's almost like picking the paint in your house, right? So there's two color silvers that could line up with the color that my dad had. Well, actually there's three. The bulk of the boat was a silver, just like these three right here. So the one that you see, there's a silver mist. I wasn't really crazy about the silver mist. I felt like it had too much shine in the sun. Then there's this one. This one's called gunmetal. I like gunmetal. I felt like it's probably the closest to it. The silver mist is just too shiny for me. I didn't really like it. There's gunmetal and then there's ash. For me, it's between these two right here. The bulk of the boat is probably, I think I'm gonna go with the gunmetal. Then my bird head, that feature that you see on the side of the Falcon, will be black frost, which has been a color that I had in every single one of my boats. It's black frost. It's this black with a silver flake in it. My bird head and the inside of the boat is gonna be this color right here. And then if you look on the picture that my dad had of that boat, I had this color in it. Pinstripe was red, so my boat will be fire red for the pinstripes. Of course, I now only got like a little bit of battery left from using it with Andy. That's what it's gonna look like right there. It's gonna be a rebuild of one of my dad's old boats. Yeah. My earliest memories in that boat. I don't think my mom watches the channel, so I'm pretty sure I can be pretty transparent with this, because this memory is pretty wild. I remember, I guess 4, 5, 6 years old. I don't know. The boat's 85. I'm born in 82. I'll let y'all do the math. I remember going down the river wide open. I mean, like, whoop, whoop. Daddy's got the thing wide open. We're shooting a rooster tail. I'm enamored with rooster tails. I was really crazy about that. So I was always asking to trim it up so I could see the rooster tail out of the back of the boat, right? We're going wide open down the river. Whoop, whoop. Hit a stump. Go from literally, I don't know how fast when you're a kid, it feels like you're going 90. We go like, let's just say we're going 65 miles an hour to a dead stop in the middle of the river. Dead stop. I get ejected from the boat. I stayed in the boat, but I was ejected from my seat all the way to the front deck. I remember my dad like coming up to me and like making sure I was okay. I think he was probably scared that I was going to be traumatized from that experience and probably never go fishing again and be scared to death of boats for the rest of my life. And I looked up at him after I figured out what was going on. I like started laughing, thinking it was the coolest thing ever happened. I thought God dang, dude, that's cool. We went from 65 miles an hour to a dead stop. Of course, I really probably wasn't in any danger other than I probably could have got knocked out cold. But, you know, when you're like 5, 6, you're stupid flexible. And since we hit something, we were in probably no water, just a few inches of water. So it wasn't like I was going to drown or anything. But I remember thinking that was the coolest thing. And oddly enough, that's probably the only thing I remember fishing-wise from that boat. But I just remember it always being one of my favorite and coolest boats that we ever had in our family. And I remember that experience just like it was yesterday. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I still to this day, when I'm running in extremely shallow water, I remember and think about that time I got ejected from my seat and thrown up to the front of the boat because we hit a stump. Even though this looks black, on the other side of that is all the silver and all the colors that I picked out from my boat this year. So they'll actually put fiberglass on top of this. Let me show you. the next step, once they put my color, which is on the inside of this black, next thing he's gonna do, we're gonna go over to this booth and they're gonna start putting fiberglass on top of this. So after he just sprayed the top cap of my boat with the fiberglass through the chopper gun, now they're rolling it out to get the air spaces and make sure there's no airspace in the glass and that they have a good adhesion to the mold as well. All right, you can see this is the cap of my boat right here. They've already glassed it in and it's cured, set for a couple days. And now they're putting the closed cell foam on it. You can see the important parts like the live well, the cooler, they'll blow foam on it. You can see it right here. They blow foam on it. That's how it keeps all your drinks and everything cool. They're just basically insulated. They do that for, that's obviously the cooler. And this is your compartments and live well back here. There's two things that does. One, it makes the boat a little bit quieter and it makes everything kind of fit tight. And then obviously it just kind of insulates the boat as well. You know, so drinks stay cooler, your live well, the ambient temperature in your live well stays about the same as the lake. So that's the reason you see the closed cell foam on the boats. It actually serves a couple of purposes. This is by far my favorite part, is when we get over here and he's about to actually start to pop my cap out of the mold right here. Like, dude, it's a brutal process. It's like watching a childbirth or something. You know, like the child is cute, but watching the actual process of it coming out, it ain't pretty. And so that's pretty much what you're about to see right here. It's like childbirth going on. So I'm doing this. The reason I'm doing this boat replica is I'm starting to realize how important those days were for me when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, 10 years old. I'm starting to realize how important they were. One of the things, I talk so much about my dad. Dad. Boat bill, my dad's boat, yeah. I don't give him, like, I want to make sure that people know that my mom has got just as much to do with my fishing as my dad does. She was the one taking pictures. She was the OG of Instagram. The pictures that I'm showing you and stuff, she was always documenting our trips and all the good times we had. She would bring the camcorder. We didn't have GoPros, of course, in the 80s. She was bringing the camcorder along and documenting our fishing trips when I was a little kid. And so no wonder I'm comfortable in front of a camera. I had a camera in front of my face since I was a baby. My mom was doing it with a camcorder back in the day. So she was doing all the YouTube and all the vlogging, all the Instagram, all the grip grins. We were doing that a long time ago before it was even cool. And I owe that to my mom. She was the one that instilled this into me. Here's this crowbar. That's what you use to get that thing out, right? It's a whole big old crowbar. I'm gonna proud my pretty fiberglass boat with this metal crowbar right here. This color's nothing you hadn't seen before, but it's just something that I don't know. I just been like really nostalgic thinking about some of the stuff that I did back when I was a kid, and I just really wanted to have a boat this color. All right, this is cool. This is watch. He's gonna pop it out, but he uses air to kind of initially break the fiberglass from the mold. You see, he's powering it up with a little bit of air, and you hear that pop. That's how they break it loose. You hear it, it sounds awful. I mean, like, it sounds really bad, but trust me, it's really good. Watch, he'll do it and listen to it. Listen to it crack. You can even see it. You can even see it under there. Watch, when he comes to this side, you'll be able to see it. Listen to it pop. And so I know you're probably looking at this thinking like, man, he's prying on this thing. He's pulling on it with a metal bar. Isn't that going to scratch the fiberglass? Well, you'll notice there's a big edge. This will make sense once I show you the trim booth. But there's a big edge. It's almost, let's say, 8 or 10 inches wide that's around the actual boat that they're using to actually pry it. And it's going to be cut off before they actually mend the 2 pieces of boat together, the hull and the cap. So it doesn't matter. You can be as rough as you want to on that piece on the back, because we're gonna get rid of that anyway. That piece of fiberglass is there just for what he's doing, so he can be rough with it and use it as leverage to pull it out of the mold. Oh, there it is. There it is. Isn't she beautiful? Okay, so we'll pick up where we left off today in the next video. We'll make this like just a little mini series like what I normally do with my boat build vlogs. There's a lot more stuff that's got to be done to the boat before it's ready for competition. I've got to get graphs, the engine. We got to have an engine, trolling motor, batteries. We got to get a boat wrap. We got to get tackle in it. So realistically, like the boat build part of it is usually about 2 or 3 videos. And then after you actually get the boat build, the electronics, batteries, all that kind of stuff is at least another 2 videos. So if you like boats and you like boat build vlogs and you like just kind of the whole dock talk about equipment and accessories, these next few videos are going to be for you. So I hope you subscribe to the channel. I don't think I really asked you guys to do that much, but if you could, if you would subscribe, I sure was to like it. Do that for me, and make sure you check out the next couple videos over the next few weeks, month, maybe even 2 months.